Are you living on autopilot? Are you just surviving this short voyage that we have on Earth instead of thriving and squeezing the juice out of life? How do we flip this pattern? How do we move to the powerful mindset of living life based on wants and not needs? Freedom, not security. Abundance, not scarcity. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could achieve our 10-year goals in just 1 or 2 years and make life more fulfilling? How do we do this? The answer? We 10x think. So what is 10x thinking and how do we 10x think? In this 3-part video, we look at what is 10x thinking, is 10x thinking easy, and how to 10x think. Okay, let's dive in. What is 10x thinking? Larry Page and Sergey Brin of Google, Grant Cardone, Dan Sullivan, and Benjamin Hardy all have a take on this subject and will use their experience to guide this video. In a nutshell, 10x thinking, 10x rule, moonshot thinking say that. Number 1, you should set goals for yourself that are 10x greater than what you believe you can achieve. Number 2, you should take actions that are 10x greater than what you believe are necessary to achieve your goals. What's easier, 2x thinking and 2x goals, or 10x thinking and 10x goals? The answer, as you might have guessed, is of course 10x thinking and 10x goals are easier than 2x thinking and 2x goals. Here is why. 10x goals are easier because they require 10x thinking, and 10x thinking is easier because it requires a totally different way of thinking about the problem. Necessity is the mother of inventions, as the saying goes. When the why is strong enough, you find the how. Here are examples. An example of a 2x goal would be, how do I add 3 videos to my YouTube channel in the next 7 days? The answer? Work night and day scripting, filming, editing, and publishing a video about every 2 days. Example of a 10x goal. How do I add 30 videos to my YouTube channel in the next 7 days? There is no way to achieve this with the 2x method. So how do I think about this problem? Maybe I can only script and film 4 videos per day, and I should outsource thumbnails and video editing to freelancers. I might even have to consider outsourcing my scripting. The thinking of how to make this happen is clearly different to the 2x goal of making 3 videos in 7 days. The surprising truth is that it's often easier to make something 10 times better than it is to make it 10% better. Eric Astro Teller, Google X head of moonshots. Think bigger, aim higher. The goal shapes the process. Quick pause. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe as it helps the channel. So how to 10x think? Step 1. Raise the bar for yourself and think 10 times bigger. Shoot for the moon, and even if you missed, you will land among the stars. Les Brown. I'm sure you're familiar with that quote. Always aim very high, and if you miss and fall short, you will still be winning bigger than if you aimed small. Don't limit your vision out of fear, insecurities, and not believing in yourself. In a nutshell, raise the bar for yourself. Shift your mindset and think 10 times bigger. You can't be great if you're just content being good. 99% of people in the world are convinced they are incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. It's easier to raise $1 million than it is $100,000. It's easier to pick up the 1 perfect 10 in the bar than the 5 8s. Tim Ferriss. In all aspects of life, the competition is higher for average goals. In The Magic of Thinking Big, Dr. David Schwartz mentions that a personnel selection executive stated that he receives 50 to 250 times as many applications for jobs that pay $10,000 per year as for jobs that pay $50,000 a year. This is to say that there is at least 50 times as much competition for jobs on second-class street as for jobs on first-class avenue. First-class avenue, USA, is a short and crowded street. There are countless of vacancies waiting there for people like you who dare to think big. Stop following the crowd. Don't compete with anyone. Raise the bar for yourself and think 10 times bigger, and you'll achieve great things. Step 2. Know upfront that 10x actions will be required, and don't be discouraged. When we shoot for greatness, the time, effort, money, energy that will be required is often underestimated. When the miscalculation of the effort becomes obvious, and it will, you hit a wall. You become disappointed and discouraged. This causes you to identify the problem as a wall you cannot smash through. And sooner or later, you assume that the target is unattainable, and you ultimately throw in the towel. If you instead anticipate that the amount of work required will be of the 10x character, some setbacks are to be expected, then those walls that you hit will no longer be made out of concrete. And if this turns out to be false, that there are no setbacks, then lucky you. Regardless of how good your product or service is, there are always uncertainty you cannot plan for. Unexpected events always happen. Make a plan of the amount of actions you need to take to complete your project and add a margin of safety. Then multiply that by 10. That would be a much more realistic number in terms of how many actions you'll need to take to achieve your 10x goals. To achieve greatness, your amount of actions need to be great. Expect that and do not be discouraged along the way. Step 3. Use Paretos Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, in your life. The Pareto Principle states that for many outcomes, 80% of consequences come from 20% of causes. Identify that top 20% that's contributing to the most gains in any aspect of your life you are trying to 10x. Then double down on that, discarding the useless 80%. Every time you get used to focusing on the 20%, again, identify the new useless 80% within that 20% that's not providing the maximum gains and discard it. Keep iterating on this until you've optimized your time to work only on things that are providing massive gains. Step 4. Spend more time thinking strategically and get out of the weeds of things. Stop doing grunt work if you're trying to achieve 10x goals. Achieving more does not necessarily mean doing more, putting in more effort, more hours. It's hard, but we need to get rid of this mentality. It often means working smarter as opposed to working harder. Here is an extreme example that really shows the difference. Elon Musk and the restaurant owner down the street have the same amount of hours per day and the same amount of hours per week and are working as hard in their business. Elon Musk is, however, leveraging his smarts, capital, and time to get more out of his 24 hours compared to the restaurant owner and produce his billions of net worth. It's not like he's working harder than the restaurant owner. They work just as hard. There might even be people in the world who work harder than Elon Musk if we're talking pure intellectual or labor effort. Are you putting quality of thought in what you're doing? Are you optimizing where possible and removing the non-value add waste? We rarely take the time to think through what we're going to be doing before mindlessly tackling something. We like to feel busy. It makes us feel important. It's a bad habit, really. Instead, let's often take the time out to think strategically, to understand if putting our time in a particular task would be the best use of it and provide us with the best results and gains. Step 5. Become comfortable of letting go of what you have now to achieve something bigger. Trying something new might mean a temporary underperformance in an area we were thriving in. We need to accept that. Take the leap. Try the new thing we think is going to help achieve more and evaluate along the way. We can't be scared of taking that first leap. Learn to let go of what you have to go get something bigger. Sometimes that means letting go of what you were previously doing to go all in on something bigger. Step 6. Stop operating out of needs and instead operate out of wants. Individuals who operate out of needs won't achieve 10x goals because no one needs to reach 10x goals. You need to want to reach them. So it's about wanting instead of needing. You could survive just fine living a 2x lifestyle. 10x achievements are highly personal. They need to feel essential to you. A critical aspect of wanting what you want is that you absolutely do not need to justify your desires to anyone. There is no justifications in wants. If someone asks you why you want something, you don't need to explain yourself. The world is divided into two types of people: those who are needers and those who are wanters. Needers compete for scarce resources and opportunities, while wanters are involved in the continual expansion of cooperation among abundance-minded individuals. Wanting allows you to see other people as collaborators, not competitors, when creating more abundance and freedom. Dan Sullivan. Have an abundance mindset without having to justify to anyone why you want what you want. A 10x goal is something you can only have if you choose the freedom to want and create. Step 7. Embrace your unfair advantage. By becoming comfortable and unapologetic about wanting what you want, which is a skill you continuously enhance, you also learn how to identify and develop what Dan Sullivan calls your unique ability and Ash Ali and Hassan Kuba call your unfair advantage. When you embrace your unique ability, you stop worrying about what other people are doing. You stop competing entirely. Work becomes play. You push boundaries while not even feeling the effort. While observers from the outside looking in ask you, why do you work so hard? Step 8. You need to commit. Nothing happens until you commit. Commitment pushes you outside your comfort zone. Commitment leads to mastery, wherein you normalize the new standard. Only after you committed will you be in a psychological position, that is, feel the necessity to find or create solutions and pathways to higher level of productivity. Once you face a point of no return, example, let's say you have some financial investments committed, your focus, motivation, and insights skyrockets. As long as you remain undecided, tentative, not willing to commit, you will not make impactful progress. Pick something and commit. When you're undecided and have too many doors open, it's hard to make a choice because of the paradox of choice. Check out Barry Schwartz, The Paradox of Choice. You're like Buridan's donkey, stuck between hay and water because you're both hungry and thirsty and cannot make a decision on which need to satisfy first. Pick something, commit, and work hard at it. If it's not working down the track, pivot. Commit and also have hope. Highly hopeful people continually adjust their pathway until they ultimately find and create a way to their goal, even in the direst of circumstances. Step 9. Be willing to change your identity. The world top achievers have the ability to rapidly accept a new identity. To go 10x, top achievers shed the identity that got them here for the new identity that will get them there. Elevating and committing to a new standard is how you evolve your identity. That involves a process of commitment, courage, and confidence. Shed your 2x identity by elevating your minimum standard. Increase the quality and decrease the quantity of everything you're doing. Shedding your 2x identity can be difficult because as people, we have the tendency to avoid losses, overvalue what we currently own, and we like to be seen as consistent. But why wouldn't you let go of what you have now to go get something bigger? Step 10. Learn the art of quitting. In order to become the best, you need to embrace the art of quitting. Seth Godin explains that quitting the wrong stuff takes guts. It's scary letting go of the 80% grunt work you're used to doing and only focusing on the 20% that provides you massive gain. Because the 80% is your comfort zone. It's your security blanket. It's what you've already mastered and can basically do on autopilot. It's your paycheck, it's your identity, and how you are known. It's your story and your habits. You need to learn to quit the wrong stuff when you have to. Step 11. Outsource what you can. Build a team whenever you can to outsource the grunt work. Are you spread thin, doing 5 or more jobs? Or do you have a growing team of people handling your former 80% grunt work? Step 12. Create your own luck. Having 10x goals followed by 10x amount of actions will create 100 times the amount of opportunity the average person is exposed to. The best part is, since you're making the conscious decision of going 10x, you'll be better prepared to make use of those opportunities. The amount of value following your actions will be unheard of compared to those average peers of yours. From the outside, this will be perceived as luck. What they don't see is the massive amount of actions required to put you in that place to begin with. The more actions you take, the better your chances of getting lucky. So, take actions and create your own luck. Step 13. Do what you fear. That is how you will excel. Fear is the great indicator of what you should focus on. An absence of concerns signals that you're only doing what feels comfortable to you. And that will only get you more of what you have right now. Fear stands for false events appearing real. Use this frequently avoided feeling as the green light for what you should do. For instance, if you're afraid to call a client, that's a sign that you should call that client. You'll be amazed at how much stronger and how much more confident you will become. Everyone fears something in life. It's what we do with that fear that distinguishes us from others. It works as a competitive tool, a free tool that's underutilized for the most part. Eat your fears. Don't feed them by backing off or giving them time to grow. Learn to look for and use fear so you know exactly what you need to do to overcome it and advance your life. Step 14. Don't despair when thinking 10x. Always measure success from where you are today to where you were 10 years ago. Do not compare yourself to your future self and be depressed because you are not there yet. 10x goals are aspirational goals we want to strive for. The moon we want to shoot for, and if we miss it, land amongst the stars. Not goals to be depressed about because we are not there yet. By measuring yourself backwards, you're actually seeing and appreciating your progress. By seeing and appreciating your progress, you feel enormously better and clearer on who you are and where you're at. The truth is, you're making much more progress than it sometimes feels like. In order to reach your potential, set massive 10x goals. See if you can apply 10x thinking to your life and accelerate your way to financial freedom. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, my friend, take care.